Hello, welcome back to the Villa View. It's time for a match preview for Villa's home tie against Everton on Friday night. Jas, you're back again.
I am.
We've got you back for a second time.
I made it.
The feedback was pretty positive, so we've stuck with you.
That's good to hear.
Happy?
Thanks, guys. Very happy.
Yeah.
What? I mean, the company's a bit dodgy, but...
Okay, nice.
Yeah,
Jas, you were at Bournemouth on Saturday, like me, the Bournemouth game.
I was.
2-1, we lost. What did you think?
I was a bit gutted,
Yeah.
but I don't think we played as well as we did against Spurs.
I think.
No.
I think we actually played better.
I don't know. I don't know if it was... I think it's tough for any team to come back from being down 2-0, especially in, first 11 minutes?
Yeah, we gave them a head start, didn't we?
Exactly. And when that penalty in the first minute, I was gutted. But no, I think maybe it freaked us a little bit, and I just don't think we got back into it. But then saying that, we created some really good chances, which was really good to see. But the problem is, now we're in the Prem, just having chances is not enough because we need to make the most of them.
Got to put them away.
Exactly.
Well, we certainly can't afford to get off to a bad start like we did on Saturday against Everton on Friday night because as you've brought a big stat pack with you. They haven't conceded a goal yet this season.
Pages.
31 pages of stats, which is even worse than Tom Julian. But yeah, they haven't conceded a goal yet this season, and their defensive record since February is brilliant.
It is, and with how we're looking up front worries me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're disappointed to see Sturridge go to Trabzonspor, weren't you? Someone asked about that. We'll get the tweet up on the screen. But
yeah, I was, because I think he's maybe one of the only people who was really spoken about in terms of free agent maybe coming in. But at the same time, I couldn't imagine him coming anyway.
No.
But I was just a bit like, it's a shame. But it worries me for the rest of the season.
Well, we've got till January, haven't we, to hold out.
Well,
we'll buy a striker in January, I'm sure. Yeah, 100%.
Yeah?
100% we'll buy a striker in January.
Well, how did you think Wesley did?
It's difficult again.
I know.
Because he's still adapting.
He is, but how long do you give someone?
Well, more than 2 games.
No, definitely more than 2 games, but still, how long do you give someone?
Well, in all honesty, we've not got much alternative. It's like a few people have asked in the questions, would you change the wingers? But who for?
Yeah.
Realistically, again, I think Trezeguet and El Ghazi probably pick themselves at this point. Obviously, we've got Hotter as well, who might be good to unlock teams, but probably not
Would you
on
start
Friday.
him?
I'd probably keep it the same.
Would you?
And I think Dean Smith will keep it. I think he'll keep the whole team.
Really?
The same. Again, people are asking about fullbacks changing. A lot of people have asked
talking about Neil Taylor.
Who have you got there? Robert McNeese. Target Gilbert to start and provide a bigger attacking threat. Help Wesley, or stick with Taylor or Elmo. The cautious option. El Ghazi is struggling.
I second that.
We've covered the wingers. I don't think he's got many options. I think Codger's back in training. Perhaps he could play on the wing, which might offer us a bit more of a goal threat. But I'd worry about him defensively.
Yeah.
Against a team like Everton with fullbacks that like to get forward.
They do. Yeah. And you have to, Marco Silva's done such a good job with his. He is, I think, in the modern game, quite lucky to still be at Everton because they went on a run of losing so many games, but
finished strongly though.
They did, and I think they've carried that momentum. And like I said, they've started the season really well. And they actually, if they win, they go top of the league. I know it's only game 3, but just psychologically,
only for 24 hours.
Only for 24 hours, but psychologically,
hopefully they won't win. Yeah, let's not talk as if it's a foregone conclusion.
I think Marco Silva's done a really good job, and their team is really well balanced because they've got a lot of experience in their team, mixed with a lot of youth.
Yeah.
And they seem to be clicking, which I think is what we're missing right now. We're missing that click. Our team just hasn't.
I think we kind of have clicked. But we haven't got the results. Because that first game against Spurs, like you say, we're very good in the first half. Could have gone 2-0 up, and then perhaps it's a different game. Bournemouth...
But you can only judge it on the result.
Yeah, no, I know results-wise, obviously.
Yeah.
We've lost 2 games, so I can't sit here and say, oh, brilliant, fantastic. But I think the performances have been better than the results suggest, I would say.
I agree. And I think Spurs was... I don't want to say unlucky because they did outplay.
It was a little bit unlucky.
It was a little bit unlucky, but I think it was more... I think it was a bit more than that. I don't think we expected anything from that. But Bournemouth, you saw my score prediction. I said 3-1. And I genuinely thought we could have won that. But like I said, going 2-0 down, it's tough to come back from.
Yeah, I'm just looking at their defence here, so their average rating so far this season for the Everton back line. So obviously it's only 2 games, so you can only read so much into this. But they've got Pickford on 7.06, Coleman on 7, Keane 7.52, Mina 7.53, and Digne, who is an injured out, but I think he's probably going to play because he's been training at 7.03. That's a solid back four that they've got there.
That's a good rating for your back four, yeah.
And they've got a great back four. Digne and Coleman obviously offer a lot going forward. I think Digne's got assists in both games. I could be completely incorrect in saying that, but I think he has. And then Michael Keane scored for England last season, 7.52. He's now growing into more of a leadership role at Everton. So they're going to be a difficult side to break down.
They are.
For a side that hasn't looked like we're going to score too many goals so far.
Saying that though, we created a lot of chances against Bournemouth. A lot of chances, but it's back converting them, isn't it?
It's about, I think once Wesley gets 1 goal, I think he'll give him some confidence. I think he's kind of suited to the Premier League. I think it'll give him some confidence to go out there and play a bit more full force. Getting
that first goal is so important, but I don't really think, there was a couple of times I thought, he could have scored, but I've not seen it.
He kind of holds back a bit getting into the box, which when you're playing with a lone striker and you're used to Tammy Abraham, who spends his whole time in the box, you kind of want him to be doing a bit more to get in there, Wesley,
and
don't you?
You'd kind of think that he would have watched back how Tammy was and sort of not taking it on board, but because obviously it worked well.
Obviously that's how Dean Smith, I imagine, wants his striker to play, but Wesley seems to be, I think he needs refining a little bit, because it's nice dropping deep and his link-up play is good. Yeah. But you've got to be a bit quicker to get in the box, especially when you're the lone forward. Exactly. But I want him to get that goal, because I think once he does it, I think he'll fly. Like I stated him last week, but I don't know why I don't know. I'm really confused about him. I really want him to do well, but I've just not seen that spark.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I wasn't overly impressed with how he played against Bournemouth.
No. So I did a video the other night with the Toffee Blues YouTube channel. They're quite a new channel, growing at the moment. They've got some decent content out there. So I did about a 20-25 minute sit down at the time of filming for us. It's not out yet, but it should be out by the time this preview comes out. So if you can go and check that out, you'll hear a bit more about my thoughts and how the Everton fans are feeling. But they've been kind enough to do a little video for us as well. So let's see how the Toffee Blues are feeling about the game on Friday.
As far as Everton's start is concerned, we've started this season relatively well. Obviously not conceding a goal in either game so far is very encouraging for what lies ahead. We're still a little bit disjointed in midfield though, with a few new signings, still needing a bit more time to settle in. Particularly JP Gabaman, who has big shoes to fill in the form of a former Aston Villa player, of course, Idrissa Gana Gueye. You guys will know him very well. He did great for us, and the midfield setup now looks as if it might need a bit of a reshuffling to find how we can best operate the midfield with the new personnel. So that could take a few games into the season for us to figure out, but I am confident that we will get there sooner rather than later. Like I say though, that bedding in process is sort of still taking place. We haven't blew either of our opponents away in the last couple of games, so there's no reason why Aston Villa can't trouble us, and I reckon it will take a far better performance than we put in against Watford last Saturday to get a win on Friday against you guys at Villa Park. One of the high points of the Watford win was the cameo appearance of Moise Keane off the bench. We did raise a lot of eyebrows by attracting him to Goodison from Juventus this summer. Now, Keane has all the potential to be a fantastic player. He's got the pace, power, skill, even a killer instinct, which it usually takes younger strikers a fair few years to develop. He's far from the finished article just yet, but I'm very confident he will be a great player for Everton and throughout the rest of his career. Luckily for you guys, though, I don't think he'll start at Villa Park. I reckon you'll see Calvert-Lewin start, and unluckily, you will get a glimpse of Moise Keane, though, from the subs bench. I reckon Marco Silva will probably save Keane's full debut for a home game, possibly our next one against Wolves next week. But perhaps it'll be another week of Dominic Calvert-Lewin leading the line, which he's not really much of a goal threat, to be quite honest with you, but he is a good team player. And he will keep your defenders on their toes, and we'll need someone to do that because your defence has looked fairly solid despite the 2 defeats you've had so far. One player who does look set to miss out on a return to Aston Villa is Fabian Delph. Now, of course, Delph is still widely disliked by your fan base. From what I've heard, you've christened him the Snake after that transfer saga in 2015 when he went to City. However, from our perspective, he is, of course, a shrewd signing and it's hard to argue with. At 8 million in this climate, it's an absolute steal, and he does bring some valuable winner's experience and a good mentality from the success he's had at City. He did win 2 titles there after all. When Delph signed for Everton, a lot of Villa fans were hotly anticipating the Everton game with Delph as an enticing maybe subplot, if you like. But it looks as though you might need to wait for the return leg at Goodison Park before you can give the snake a taste of your venom. Another interesting subplot from our end, which you guys might not actually be aware of at Villa, is Everton fans have a bit of a vendetta of sorts against your player Neil Taylor, who infamously snapped Seamus Coleman, our club captain of course. He broke his leg in a very horrible tackle in a game between Wales and Ireland in the Euro qualifiers a few years ago. Many a fan in recent days has mentioned how they'd like to see someone plant a hard challenge or two on your left back, so it might be a good time to give Matt Targett maybe his first start of the season. On that note, I'm going to comment a little bit on your transfer business, and I've been very impressed by some of the players that you guys have brought in this year. Initially, the one that really caught my eye was Wesley. In a time before we acquired Moise Kean, I would really have liked Wesley to have been the striker we signed for Everton. He's a very imposing figure, and no doubt he'll give our so far unbreachable defence a very difficult game on Friday. Bjorn Engels and Tyrone Mings have the makings of a great centre-half pairing for you as well. Of course, Mings already has experienced life with you guys on loan last season from Bournemouth. But of all the players you've signed, the one that really caught my eye in the first 2 games has been Trezeguet, the Egyptian winger. He seems to have a bit of an X factor, which you need to have a few of your players to have at this level. I believe he could take the league by storm after a while once he gets settled in. To be honest with you guys, staying up in the league should be the worst you should be looking at. You could even get in the top half if you really find some form. However, of course, I'm hoping you don't find any form until after this Friday. As far as this game goes, I do think this will be our toughest test of the season so far. We didn't impress that much ourselves attacking-wise, but Crystal Palace and Watford didn't test us much either. I expect Villa at Villa Park to ask us a few more questions than either of those sides did, and maybe we could be set for a very entertaining game there. I reckon a 2-2 draw myself, but obviously I'm hoping we can turn it on and get a win there. You never know. Whatever happens, guys, I reckon both of our teams could be in for a decent season this year, so best of luck to you, and we'll see you on Friday night.
I mean, at the end of the day, it was an accident. He didn't do it, but it wasn't a great tackle. He got sent off, but it was an accident.
100%.
And Coleman's come back now, and he's just as good as he was before his injury.
And also, I've read somewhere that they still, like, there's no bad blood, like, they talk, it's fine.
Neil Taylor apologised immediately, went to see him at hospital, I think, so, but the Everton fans will still give him stick.
Of course they will, and even sort of for Taylor, like, if that would play on my mind, and you'd be really cautious.
Well, they're dead against each other as well, right back and left back. They're going to face each other at some point.
Exactly.
In a duel.
And I don't know if it's good enough reason for him to not play, but I think Dean Smith would have to consider it.
I think he'll keep him in there.
Do you think?
I don't think he'll make any changes to the team on Saturday.
Do you think we need a change?
Again, front three would be the one you'd look at, but what can he do? I know it's bad 3 games in, but I'm looking at our bench and thinking Hotter's probably going to work better as an impact player. Codger's probably going to work better as an impact player.
Yeah.
Keenan's going to work better as an impact player.
Yeah.
I'm looking at it and thinking very much he can do. But a few people have asked about bringing Connor back in, which I'm all for, because everyone knows I love Connor, but shifting Jack to the left, and he ended the game on the left-hand side against Bournemouth, and it's not his position anymore.
Doesn't have the same impact, and I think
he's a central midfield player. He's a free 8.
Yeah, and also I think when you put him there, then I think going forward, people are a bit like, oh, okay, like the danger man, the guy that they're always taking chunks out of, isn't there.
Well, you're losing something as well. Your best ball carrier.
Yeah,
on the left, and then he's obviously going to want to cut inside because his natural position is to play centrally. And the midfield probably ends up a bit congested, and you're not as free flowing anyway. So I disagree with doing that. Yeah. I was surprised to see Smith even do it for 5-10 minutes on Saturday. If I'm being honest, I thought we were past the days of people being out of position. It's a bit Steve Bruce, a bit Paul Lambert. It's not really what I want to see.
Especially when you've invested so much into a team. Yeah. I think you'd have everything covered, but.
What did you make of Jack on Saturday? He's got, again, as is with most players, to be fair, mixed reviews.
Yeah, I agree. He had some really good spells and sometimes a bit like,
He's not as involved as he would be in the Championship at the moment, but he's getting to grips with the league again.
I agree, and I don't think he's maybe adapted as well as I thought he would. I don't know why. I just thought he'd go in and just...
Yeah, I think I probably did as well. I think that's probably fair.
But that doesn't mean that he's not playing well.
Well, on Saturday, there was a stat saying he created more chances than anyone else in the Premier League that day, so that tells me he's doing a lot right.
He is doing a lot right, but it's... Okay, then what is he not doing right?
I thought he looked tired after an hour.
Yeah.
But then he had got a second wind and came back in. Because I watched McGinn, and McGinn looks like he's acclimatised to the Premier League and the demands straight away. Yeah. Whereas Jack, maybe not quite. And we all love Jack. We all know what a fantastic player he is. And then by the end of the season, I'm sure we'll all be banging on about why isn't he in the England squad? It should be in the England squad. He's on absolute fire. And to be fair, if he is on fire, he'll get in that England squad. And
I agree. And also,
team.
I do think it's, we're 2 games in.
Yeah, it's hard to judge.
It is. It really is. But you can only talk about what you've seen.
Yeah. I think he'll have a big game on Friday night.
Do you think?
Yeah. I think he will. I think he's on periphery of getting back to playing at the level he was in the Championship, but it's hard because it's a tougher league.
It's exactly, and you're playing against tougher players, more experienced players, people who've been at Everton they've been in the league for...
Well, they've never been out of the Premier League.
They've never been out of the Premier League, so...
They've got a decent midfield as well.
They have.
Andre Gomez was signed in the summer permanently. He's a fancy player, really good on the ball. One player as well who, to be fair, I think probably my opinion wasn't the popularist opinion with it, but Douglas Luiz on Saturday. What did you make of him? We'll get his stats up on the screen now, Roller.
I was quite impressed.
Yeah?
Yeah. Your face tells me you weren't.
I was. I think he grew into the game. I think he got better as the game went on, but as I said in the podcast, I don't think he had any right to be starting that game, really. But then people have made the valid point to me since that, well, he's got to play 80% of the games for his work permit. Yeah. Because I was surprised he just came straight in for Connor. So I didn't think Connor did much wrong against Spurs. He obviously made a mistake for the second goal.
I think had he have not have scored, I think...
I used the term he got himself out of jail in the podcast, but again, I don't think that was a popular opinion.
But I agree. I think if he hadn't have scored, we would be having a very different conversation here.
Yeah, he only scored no goal in the first half. Yeah, as well. It's a lot to expect. This is what we're saying about it's only 2 games in and stuff. I think it's harsh to throw him in that early. Yeah, he hasn't had much of a pre-season at all because he joined us very, very late. Yeah, he did. It's difficult to come in and hit the ground running. So it's not me knocking Luiz or saying I don't think Luiz is a good player, because I think he looks like he's going to be a really good player. Yeah. But I just felt the game was a bit too soon for him. And a team like Everton, who are at the moment on good form, carried on where they left off last season. Yeah. Again, I think it's a big ask to come in and play against them. Hopefully that goal's giving him some confidence and we'll get him through, because I think he'll start again. But his stats were decent, to be fair. I always think you can only read so much into stats. They could be dressed up or dressed down, whichever way you want to look at it. But they've been on the screen. So he looks like he's had a good game stats-wise. Yeah,
I'm really surprised at your opinion. I thought you were quite impressed.
I'm not saying I'm saying he got better as it went on, and by the end of the game, I think he was there. Yeah. But it took him an hour or so to get going.
Get into it,
and in the Premier League, you haven't got an hour. And as you saw, you make a mistake, you get punished. Yeah. And one of the signings of the summer was Moise Kean from Juventus. I think 27 million, which in this day and age is absolutely ridiculous for someone who had a good season for Juventus by all accounts last time round. Everton have. Funny noise. Everton have needed a striker since Lukaku left. Over the last couple of seasons they've missed a marksman,
which is why I think they've struggled.
So that's probably not helped. Yeah, they've now got him in. He came on as a sub on a game on Saturday and looked immediately lively. And I was watching Match of the Day and I just thought, God, they're going to start him on Friday, aren't they? His first start. And the Everton fans I spoke to, they were buzzing with him. Yeah. Well, so wouldn't you that's a worry.
That is a worry, of course, it's a worry. That doesn't fill me with... That worries me.
Yeah. If he's scoring goals for you, he's got something about him. He's a good player. Yeah. I still can't believe they paid 27 million for him. That's a joke. Yeah. That's a joke price, some of the prices that are quoted nowadays.
Well, what did we pay for Wesley?
22. And Moise Kean's younger, played in a more potent league. Yeah. So I mean, I feel like we're being a bit negative here, and I don't want to be, because like you've said, it is only 2 games in, but obviously you need to get a win at some point.
I think we just need.
I think we'll win next week. I will say at Palace.
I just think we need, even if someone offered you a draw right now,
I'd take it.
I would take it. I think we need that first point just to get off the mark. I think that will give everyone a lot of, you're not just sat on no points coming off the back of 2 pretty good plays but no points. I think do you think that, I'm being pessimistic here, would you start worrying if we lost on Friday?
No, because I think it's too early.
Do you?
I'd have a little bit of concern, but I knew it would be a tough start. Obviously, Spurs away is going to be a tough game.
Yeah.
Got to be fair. I expected a better result on Saturday, but fair play to Bournemouth. They capitalised and they punished us. And you've got to admit, I watched them. They were a good side, but they were beatable. And had we not been so generous at the back, it would have been a different game. I think we would have troubled them, and I think we possibly could have beat them. But it is what it is. That's what happened in that game.
Another Love Island.
Oh God, I've got to get you out of this berth. And then and Everton, it's a hard game.
It is. I think it's a really hard game, especially Everton. If you look what their goals are for this season,
probably to challenge for the top 6.
Exactly.
And I think they might well do it.
Yeah.
When their new players settle in, I think they'll be a force. This season. Then suddenly, if you don't get anything this week, next week, although it's only 4 games in, it becomes a bit of a relegation clash, kind of, because Palace. I think Palace will be down there.
I think
they haven't got off to a great start. They don't look like they could score a goal to save their life. Poor Benteke looks like a shadow of the player he was at Villa Park, and then suddenly that becomes a game. And then there's loads of pressure on that. So I just want us to get something on the board.
That's what I'm saying.
On
and it
Friday.
Just lifts that pressure
and a positive performance.
Yeah, but saying that though, I think we've had 2 positive performances.
Yeah, no, I know we have, and the fans have been really good so far. But I know it sneaks into a third game of not getting anything, and then I know it's going to become antsy. That goodwill won't last long. No, at Villa Park.
I mean, we've had a relatively tough start, but if you're not picking up points against, no disrespect to Bournemouth because they beat us and they played really well, but where do you start picking up points? Because
that's it, isn't it?
You still got to play.
We've got Arsenal away coming up.
Exactly.
As well. We'll be all right.
Yeah.
But it'd be a slow start if we didn't pick up anything on, especially on Friday. Especially when you see that Sheffield United and Norwich have already picked up
points,
and they look like they've adapted.
Yeah.
No, I mean, I'd say performance-wise, we look like we've adapted. But like you said, it's the results that are important.
Yeah.
Sheffield United and Norwich. Like for Norwich, for example, first game performance good against Liverpool, got battered 4-1, no good. But then they follow it up, and it is Steve Bruce's Newcastle. I'd expect most teams to beat Steve Bruce's Newcastle.
Yeah.
But Pukki's come in, scored that hat-trick, picked up where he left off last season. We've kind of, with the goal scoring stakes, really not picked up where we left off last season. Sheffield United 1-0 clean sheet, formation looks like it's world class. They look like they'll be really hard to beat at home.
Which is really interesting because I know when we got promoted, everyone was like, I think the team that we're least worried about is Villa.
Well, I said all 3 would stay up.
Did you?
Yeah, I think all 3 promoted teams would stay up, and I said that at the start of the season, before any games had taken place. So far that's looking mixed. and it's Villa that might let me down. So, Jas, it's prediction time. You got it wrong last week. What are you?
Quite wrong.
As did I. What are you saying this time?
This is a really tough one. I don't want to...
Got to push you on the clock here.
I'm actually going to go 2-1 Everton.
No, Jas. Okay, that's fine. That's your prerogative. You're going 2-1 Everton.
I'm not happy about it.
No, I mean, you're just going with your gut. You're going with what you think. I'm going to go 1-1. I'm going to say that we go behind 1-0. Moise Kean will play and score. If Moise Kean's first start, players love scoring their first goal against Villa, so it's really in the stars.
Love but then to get a stat on that.
I think we'll attack the whole end in the second half, have a real good go, real positive, and I think Wesley's going to equalise 1-1.
Do you think?
And then we're positive going into next week, and then next week's when we pick up the first 3 points. That's what I'm going with. Yeah.
Now I feel.
I've G'd you up, haven't I?
Right, and now I feel really bad for saying 2-1 Everton.
Get me in that dressing room before the game. Right, thanks ever so much for joining me again, Jas. It's been a pleasure, although I do feel like I'm spending a bit too much time with you at the moment, as my wife invited you around for dinner last night as well, so I can't get rid of you at the moment, but thanks ever so much for joining me in the booth. If you have enjoyed this video, then make sure you're giving it a like and comment below with your predictions ahead of the Everton game. If you're not already subscribed to the Villa View with your post notifications on, then if you could do that as well, that would be absolutely fantastic. There will be fan cams after the game on Friday. I'm otherwise engaged, so it won't be me doing them, so I'm not sure actually who is stepping up and doing that, but we will let you know on Twitter. It could be a Rollo one-man band, and I know he absolutely adores doing that. enjoy Saturday. Enjoy Saturday. Enjoy Friday if you're going, and up the Villa. If you enjoyed that video, why not watch another? Click the video choices on screen now to go and watch them in full. Be sure to subscribe to the channel by clicking our logo there on the left. Easy peasy.